Hansei, welcome to another special holiday edition of APTN National News as we look back at some of our stories from 2025. Artificial intelligence is offering a new way to learn at home, and some AI models have already begun offering translation for the teaching of Indigenous languages. While this can be a positive in the efforts to revitalize Indigenous languages, it can also be a threat as non-Indigenous companies are at the forefront of this technology. Savannah Craig reports.
Google Translate started offering the first Indigenous language in Canada last fall. Inuktitut includes 31 dialects spoken by Inuit in Canada, the United States, Greenland, and Russia. While there is celebration in expanding the presence of Indigenous languages in New Age technology, there can be harms.
They're taking data that really, number one, it's given to them by governments, which I have a problem with, because they really should be consulting the Inuit. If they're going to benefit from that, there should be some kind of return for Inuit.
Kurt Etiel says companies in the Silicon Valley are harvesting data to produce Indigenous language AI models.
So there's lots of repositories of Inuit language in museums, in archives, in documents that governments basically make available. It's public domain, right? If it's publicly owned, then big corporations can go and harvest that and be able to use it for anything that they want.
Etiel developed his own Inuktitut AI application called Anyai. It provides instant translations, interpretations, and is available to convert text, audio, and video. The platform only offers translations in South Baffin Inuktitut, with the goal of expanding to offer other Inuktitut dialects.
If we're able to use our app to be able to communicate with our cousins in Greenland, all the way to Alaska and Russia, we have lots of relatives, the language becomes, not a barrier anymore, and that we can actually speak to those dialects as if we're a native speaker.
Michael Runningwolf is the co-founder of the First Languages AI Reality, which aims to revitalize Indigenous languages through AI.
With AI, you can have this opportunity to practice while you're at home, which you would normally require have a speaker in the house or an elder, and this plugs that gap.
Runningwolf says in order to build AI, it needs to be fed data.
We are highly sensitive to any community, withdrawing their consent. And we want to be as ethical as possible, and so we don't take public data sets which may have been taken unethically.
To respect data sovereignty and allow Indigenous communities to be at the table, Etiel wants Indigenous language AI models to be Indigenous-led.
At the end of the day, we're encouraging government and policymakers to support small Indigenous companies so that it actually builds equity in our communities.
Savannah Craig, APTN National News, Ottawa.
Earlier this year, a series of suspicious-looking and inaccurate Indigenous language books appeared on Amazon Marketplace. The books raised many questions about whether the books were being written by generative AI. Sierra Bettens reports.
Thomas Baer claims to be a distinguished Plains Cree language expert from Canada and the author of several books. His bio celebrates his work in the community, sharing his expertise through workshops and seminars. But there's suspicion that Baer isn't who he claims to be, or if he even exists. A series of near-identical books on Amazon are generating outrage on social media. From Plains Cree to Ojibwe to Blackfoot, most look the same, only the author names are different. The author profiles go nowhere. The International Standard Book Numbers, or ISBNs, aren't real. One Facebook user said the Ojibwe book she bought was inaccurate, and some suspect the books were created using generative AI. To put Baer's Plains Cree book to the test, APTN reached out to language instructor Dr. Kevin Lewis from the Minisequin Lake Cree Nation. Within seconds, he knew something was off. Most words were either inaccurately translated or completely made up.
I don't recognize that. Amuya would be like saying no. Nigan is forward or in the front. Oh yeah, it's off. I know it's off.
Professor David Gerhard heads the University of Manitoba's Computer Science Department. He says AI-generated books are common, and while they may look legit, they're often unreliable.
These generative tools, especially when they are working in domains where they don't have a lot of information, can sometimes just make up an answer rather than say they don't know. And so it's not clear whether the information in here would be reliable.
APTN plugged the introduction of Bair's Plains Cree Adjectives book into 3 AI detectors. While their accuracy can't be guaranteed, all 3 suggested the text was 100% AI generated. Gerhard notes a few other telltale signs.
You can do a search for these authors and find that they're not real people, but the big tell is that the ISBN, the International Book Number, is just made up.
Whether or not the language books are AI generated, someone somewhere uploaded them to the Amazon marketplace. And Lewis worries they could be dangerous.
There's a lot of people that are really want to learn their languages, the Indigenous languages, and then it's just a shame that somebody sort of capitalized on it in that way.
Gerhard says sellers face few, if any, consequences for uploading books like this.
I don't think there's any way that we can police this. I don't think there's any consequences we can bring on the people doing this. Instead, what we can do is educate the public and let them know that these things are out there and to be careful of the sources of the information that you get.
Not judging a book by its cover, Lewis believes these dubious texts underscore the need for more Indigenous language programs.
We need them all over the place because there's so many people that are living in the cities, in the towns, not only the First Nations or the settlements, Métis communities. We're everywhere now, right? And if we can sort of get online and then start teaching these languages, then I think that's probably the best way to do it.
Tim Gilman, an Amazon spokesperson, said there are content guidelines for books sold on Amazon and that Amazon will remove non-compliant books and suspend publisher accounts for repeated abuse. Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing guidelines require authors to disclose AI-generated, but not AI-assisted content. After APTN reached out to Amazon, Bair's Plains Cree book series was removed. However, dozens of similar books are still for sale. Sierra Bettens, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
It's no secret that the number of fluent speakers in Indigenous languages is declining, and with them, generations of cultural knowledge are at risk of being lost. Now, a First Nation in northern Yukon is turning to innovative technology to preserve their language and culture by turning elders into holograms. Sarah Connors explains.
Nacho elder Walter Peter never imagined he'd see himself as a hologram. Yet here he is, watching a nearly life-size 3D version of himself.
What did you think when you saw yourself for the first time?
I said to myself, how'd that work?
In Peter's small home community of Mayo, Yukon, about 400 kilometers north of Whitehorse, this kind of technology was once unimaginable. But now it's being used to help preserve language and culture for future generations with just the tap of a finger.
Check out different elders as
they're lots of fun, long time ago.
Yeah, all that stuff there. We put into holograms. I put in hologram in a way so people would know.
I didn't believe in that.
The holograms are part of Kwanda, a new joint 3-year project between the First Nation of Nacho, Carleton University, and the Office of the Commissioner of Indigenous Languages. Its name means to keep the fire burning in Northern Shoshone. The project entails recording elders' stories, oral histories, and traditional crafts. There's even a virtual reality game where elders voice animals, helping guide learners on a language journey.
What we've done is we've taken our elders' voices. Walter, who you did an interview with, he is the crow in this story.
The First Nations Heritage Manager says with elders passing on, it wanted to find a way to safeguard its culture and language.
We've only got about 6 fluent speakers left in the community, and if we don't capture that, then we lose it.
Sometimes we go swimming in the river.
The idea to use a holopresence machine to capture Notchonayaktans culture literally came to life thanks to a working partnership with Carleton University. Sampson admits some elders were skeptical of the project at first, concerned that their sacred traditional knowledge would be up for grabs for anyone to access. But the project is only available to Notchonayaktan citizens, and right now the holopresence housed at the First Nations Government Office.
People are understanding more of what it is that we're trying to do, and it's been an overall, I would say, success in people are engaged and they want to participate. That's preserving the cultural side of things.
The project is still growing. More cultural activities will be added, including the use of AI to preserve the Northern Shoshone language. AI will eventually be used to help with language learning and even construct new vocabulary. The Carleton professor helping lead the project says Notchonayaktan's unique Northern Shoshone dialect isn't readily available for AI to learn from just yet, and his students are now digitizing language materials to help make that happen.
Then once that is all gathered together, then AI can learn how to, what is Northern Shoshone, how does it work, what are the grammar rules, and eventually learn to speak.
Citizens can also access the project online, though holopresence makes the experience a lot more immersive. No matter how citizens choose to access it, the goal isn't to replace traditional language learning, but to complement it.
You cannot pack those things around the bush. You gotta learn up here, you gotta keep it up here.
Once the project is complete, its model will be made publicly available so other Indigenous communities around the world can create their own. For Peter, the best way to preserve his culture is to share it.
They've all gone, I'll be sitting there today.
Sarah Connors, APTN National News, Mayo.
We have a couple of Indigenous business leaders from BC and Quebec up next. Stay with us for their stories. Welcome back. Earlier this year, an entrepreneur from British Columbia launched her own food truck. And as APTN's Tina House reports, for her, food is medicine and made with lots of love.
Take a look at that. Nice and soft, just like marshmallows. Come get some.
Ruby Harry not only runs a catering company called Four Directions Catering, but she has recently launched her own food truck called Medicine Wheels. And for her, it's a dream come true.
I am so proud, so happy, and I am beaming from the inside out. My spirit is happy.
It all started one night when she was scrolling through Marketplace on Facebook, when she says she came across this abandoned old food truck for sale. She said she looked past the chipped paint and old interior and saw potential. She worked hard, saved the money, and sold a lot of bannock to eventually rebuild the entire engine, put in a new kitchen with top-of-the-line appliances. She also taught herself how to get through the permitting process.
I got this business off the ground by long, hard hours and lots of money, but we got it done. It's a 1988 Brewmaster, and she's spotless, she's brand new, and she's ready to go. She's ready to feed anybody, anywhere.
And her big baby food truck, which she affectionately calls it, has already hit the road from Mount Currie to Bowen Island to Kamloops. Medicine Wheels food truck serves everything from homemade slow-cooked brisket poutine, wild salmon and fries, to her signature berry pickers dessert bannock, Indian tacos with fresh-made bison chili, to halibut. Everything on her menu is what Ruby says, made with love, and her customers feel the same way.
Absolutely awesome. I had just had Elder Lois over here just shared some of her lunch with me, and it was fantastic.
And for Ruby, her food is medicine. And giving back to the community is a big part of what she does, by training the next generation and donating meals that feed hundreds of people at various events. Just recently, she received the King Charles III Coronation Medal, which recognizes individuals who have made a significant contribution to communities in Canada.
I want to say thank you to everybody who helped me get here, that we did it and we're going to keep going. Thank you. And this is what you call a Bannock surgeon.
Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Thank you, Tina. It began as a light-hearted idea among friends and has now gradually evolved into a promising business venture. Fueled by a shared passion for music and a spirit of creativity, two Innu men's modest project is now gaining momentum. APTN's Kim Sullivan reports.
Finalement, ça va donner un bon produit, hein, Matt? On est parti de ça, on est arrivé à ça. C'est vraiment beau.
There are two of them, passionate about music and wood. Their dream, to create handmade guitars right here in the Innu community of Mastayach in Quebec.
Tous les petits moments qu'on est capable de trouver pour travailler ensemble dans l'atelier, on le fait. C'est comme ce matin à 5h30.
Today, that dream has been realized even in professional studios. Initially, however, Mathieu Grégoire and Danny Lachance started out making furniture.
Fait qu'on a starté la compagnie qu'on a appelée Meshtuk, qui voulait dire bois. Puis on est tous les deux guitaristes. Puis un midi, on est en train de dîner tous les deux ensemble. Puis on s'est comme dit, hey, on essaie-tu de faire des guitares électriques? Un peu à la blague. Puis finalement, ça l'a déboulé.
To do this, they undertook training at the Quebec School of Lutherie on the manufacture of electric guitars. After more than 2 years of trial and error, they finally had a product that lived up to their expectations.
On est tout le temps fiers quand on sort nos guitares d'ici et on joue avec. Mathieu, c'est notre testeur de guitare. Puis Mathieu, c'est un bon soliste. Fait que quand on l'entend jouer, on est content. Là, on sait qu'on a une belle guitare qui sort de l'atelier.
Canadian country artist Matt Lang's touring guitarist Étienne Joly was also impressed and contacted them with a proposal.
On s'en va donner un show à Robertval en juillet. Fait qu'il dit, si tu veux, on est prêts à jouer avec tes guitares.
So in July 2024, Matt Lang also took the stage with a Meshtuk guitar. Since then, Matt Lang has been traveling the world with not one, but two Meshtuk guitars, and he'll have a third one in October. APTN News asked how it felt to see their creation on stage.
C'est indescriptible. Puis, à la limite, c'est quasiment comme une drogue, là, c'est euphorique aussi. Là, c'est un beau feeling, c'est un beau feeling.
What makes a Meshtuk guitar so unique? Artists who have tried them say that the magic is in the neck.
Ah oui, c'est beau ça. Ouais, on va tout changer de manche, on va pas penser à cette manche-là.
Je te dirais juste en la plaçant, puis juste en touchant le derrière du manche, tu voyais qu'il y avait un certain potentiel. Puis, c'était pas banal, là.
The wood used for Meshtuk guitars is also carefully chosen, selecting wood species that allows them to create guitars that can't be found in stores. Mathieu also adds a little secret that might explain the unique energy of a Meshtuk.
Je ne l'ai jamais dit à Danny, ça. Ce que je fais, quand je façonne un corps, je fais juste le toucher un petit peu, puis je me ferme les yeux. Puis après ça, ça dure environ 2-3 secondes. Après ça, ben là, c'est fait. Je remercie aussi le bois de s'offrir à moi un peu.
These guitars are also the beginning of a bigger dream.
Même si moi et Mathieu, on ne savait pas que ça allait décoller vite comme ça, on avait quand même un but. Le but, c'était on veut redonner à la communauté le plus possible. Des magasins de musique, il n'y en a pas ici. Puis on aimerait ça avoir l'atelier de musique, on aimerait ça avoir le magasin de musique, puis même avoir un petit endroit à côté où ce que les gens vont pouvoir venir jouer de la musique.
And finally, now that Matt Lang owns Meshtuk guitars, which artists would Mathieu and Danny like to see strumming their 6 strings?
Chris Stapleton, on aimerait ça un jour. S'il peut entendre parler de nous autres, si on peut l'approcher, j'aimerais bien ça qu'il y ait une de nos guitares un jour.
APTN National News contacted Chris Stapleton's team, but has not heard back yet. Who knows? Maybe this dream will come true too. Kim Sullivan, APTN National News, Innu community of Mastayach in Quebec.
Thank you, Kim. We have more news after the break. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Finally for us, Red River Métis wrestler Connor Church moved to Montreal 4 years ago to train at the Renitz Wrestling Centre. The club trains Olympians, world champions, and young wrestlers looking to make it to the world stage. And as APTN Savannah Craig reports, this athlete from Winnipeg is training to compete in the 2028 Summer Olympics.
Crushing opponents is what Connor Church does best. He's just 22, but he's already won the Senior National Championships and the U23 National Championships. This summer, he was inducted into the North American Indigenous Athletic Hall of Fame, and in 2023 received the Tom Longboat Award, which celebrates Indigenous athletes for their contributions to sports in Canada.
I remember before I moved out here, I never thought or if I did win a national championship, that'd be the coolest thing ever. I've won 6 of them now.
Church moved to Montreal to train after his high school coach recommended the Montreal Wrestling Club. He trains with 2 coaches at the Sylvan Adams YMYWHA Community Centre in Montreal. One of them is David Zilberman. He teaches Church more than physical strength, but also how to manage the psychological and emotional part of fighting.
There's a lot of stress involved with wrestling. You're essentially fighting somebody. So being able to regulate your emotions and manage them in a way that you can show up in a match and be alert and ready to go, but not too much where you're out of control and it just becomes chaos.
You are going through fight or flight every time, and you have to make that conscious kind of decision or have that mental discipline to realize I have to, I'm doing this, I'm not going to run away. You have to confront kind of this problem, this obstacle head on.
Church's love for wrestling came from a young age with encouragement from his father.
From 3 or 2 years old, I was doing karate, and then I was boxing, and then it was jiu-jitsu, and then it was kind of just every sort of martial art he can get me in.
Connor's brother, Ryder Church, also shares his family's love of martial arts. Ryder is also Connor's training partner.
It helps me keep consistent training, because even on the days I feel bad or, I have a bad day or I'm upset, he'll train or he'll come to practice and I gotta stay on it.
After all his wins, Church says he now has his eyes set on larger goals, including the 2028 Summer Olympics.
I want to do stuff internationally and be an international competitor. That just wasn't even in my way of thinking before.
Savannah Craig, APTN National News, Montreal.
Cool story, Savannah. That's all the time we have for this special holiday edition of APTN National News. We want to wish all of you a happy New Year's with family, and we wish you all the best in 2026. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next day.